Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I have another cooking video today and I'm going to share a recipe with you that's really simple and really yummy. I'm talking about jam. So today we'll be making a strawberry jam, but you could use raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, or whatever type of fruit you want. Next up, our jam has chia seeds in it. They're super tiny seeds, but they are packed with nutrition. They have something called omega-3s, which are really healthy for you. They have iron, they have fiber, they have antioxidants, so they're super healthy for you. And of course, we know that fruit is very healthy. Red fruit's gonna help your heart and your skin. Then we're gonna be using a lemon, and we might be using a little bit of honey. But you could use another sweetener like agave syrup or maple syrup or even sugar. So of course, with any cooking, you're going to wanna ask a grown-up to supervise you or to make sure it's okay. All right, let me show you the tools we'll be using today. So you will need a small saucepan, a fork, a knife, some measuring spoons, and something to make juice with. The first step, as usual, is to wash your hands, but the second step is to rinse the strawberries off. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to cut off the tops of your strawberries. Once you've cut off the tops, we're gonna wanna chop them into a small dice. So this is the size we're looking for. All right, we're going to measure them really quick to make sure it fits the recipe. So my recipe calls for 1 cup of fruit. So next up, we're going to put the chopped clean fruit into our pot. Okay, so now that our strawberries are in the pot, we need to take them over to the stove, but first we've got to juice our lemon. You can see the bottom of the lemon and where the top was, and we're gonna put it on its side like this, and then we're gonna make a nice cut right down the middle. And I'm gonna use my juicer to squeeze out the lemon juice. For this recipe, we need 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice. Now we gotta get over to the stove. Okay, so here at the stove, I have the strawberries, the lemon juice, the chia seeds, the honey, the fork, and lastly, the measuring spoons. So the first step is we're gonna turn on the burner. So you can see that's on high, and we're gonna turn it on to a medium low. Right about there. So now we're gonna let the berries heat up a little bit. It's gonna bring out some of the juices and kind of break them up. And then we're gonna take our fork and we're gonna mash them down. It's gonna start to smell really good too. And we don't want them on too high of a heat because we don't wanna burn the strawberries. We just wanna kind of get them to warm up, release their juices, and start to break down. So if you do not have permission to use a stove, or you'd prefer to make the no heat version of this jam, instead of turning on the heat, you could leave the strawberries in the pot and do the same thing. You would mash the strawberries with a fork like this. Or you could even put them in a blender and blend them up. We want them to be pretty small. And when you're working at the stove, it's always important to keep an eye on everything because things can cook really quickly, things can burn quickly, so you wanna make sure you're watching. You can kind of see those bubbles in there.
5 minutes later.
I'm going to turn the heat down because now I'm going to go with my fork and start really mashing. I'm going to press the berries down with my fork. I'm going to press them against the side of the pot like this. I don't want it to be too hot. In fact, turn the burner off completely for this. And be really careful because when you're pushing down, you don't want to touch the sides of the pot. It's really hot. This takes some time and a little bit of arm muscle, so if you have a sibling around, you might want to have them help you or an adult to help you too. You guys can take turns doing this so your arm doesn't get tired.
1 eternity later.
All right, it's finally in a consistency that I like. It's a little bit chunky, but it's mostly smooth. All right, friends, I know we're in the middle of making our jam, but I'm gonna pause the video right here because I want you guys to go and watch my other video called The Science Behind Jam so that you know why I'm doing everything I'm doing in this video and you can learn how jam is actually made and the science behind it. And then after that, stick around for part 2 of how to make jam because I'm going to show you the finished product and then you can make it yourself. Okay, bye.